Today we have with us physician Josh Joe Hall and physician assistant Madison Cisco, so we can figure out the differences between the two fields. Josh, Madison, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Doing good, doing good.
Alright guys, I myself am a construction manager, which obviously is not in the medical field, so I don't really know what sets you guys apart. Let's find out the differences between the two fields. Let's start off with question 1. What does it take to be a physician or a PA?
Well, it's very important that you ask that because there's a distinction when it really comes to schooling and how we go about that. So for physicians, we go to school for 8 years, right? 4 years undergrad, 4 years in medical school. And then usually what follows is 3 to 7 years of residency, depending on what specialty you get. And now this residency is just working in affiliate hospitals to sort of get an understanding personalized towards that specialty. And that specialty is gained through taking that United States medical licensing exam, where you get placed into a certain specialty based off your exam scores. And then following all of that, you get board certified and state certified. And what tends to happen is that every 10 years you get recertified just to make sure you're still in the loop of knowledge. And once you're a physician, you tend to lead groups with physician assistants and nurses and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks. Okay.
So like Josh said, PAs go to school less than physicians. So we get undergraduate for 4 years and then 2 years of PA school, which is a graduate degree. And we graduate with a master's. And we also take a national certifying exam, which is called the PANCE. And every 10 years we also recertify. And most PAs don't specialize. You don't have to specialize. Once you pass your exam, you can go right to the field and go within different specialties for on-the-job training, whereas physicians usually specialize and stick in that field. So that's a main difference between them.
Okay, so it sounds like there are a lot of similarities and some differences. So how does each job function independently of one another?
So, like you said, PAs and physicians are very similar, but physician assistants must work under the supervision of a doctor, while physicians can work independently. So a physician like Josh can have his own practice, whereas a PA can't. I would have to have a practice with another physician. And both PAs and physicians can see their own patients and they can both prescribe medications.
Yeah, and then a very big difference between the two is that because of the specialties that physicians tend to have, we can do things like surgery like by ourselves, whereas physician assistants can only assist in doing so. So we always have to be present in order to do things like that. Mm-hmm. And that always goes back to what Madison was saying before about leading the team as a physician.
That's very interesting. Now here comes the big elephant in the room. What kind of prospects and payout do each profession have? We can start with Josh.
Well, the doctors, depending on their specialty, can make upwards of $100,000 up to $300,000. So.
Whereas PAs make from $70,000 to $125,000. And demands for PAs are usually increasing because they are cheaper to pay than physicians. And demand also increases in medical institutions of high traffic because physicians need as much help as they can get. So one physician could oversee 10 plus PAs.
And what tends to happen in regard to the prospects is that physicians tend not to be as flexible as physician assistants because we're sort of stuck in our speciality, whereas physician assistants can change around. So you can do dermatology for a couple of years and switch over to nephrology if you wish to do so. So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in today. As you can see, PAs and physicians are very similar, but also have some very noticeable differences that are very important to consider. Thank you.